So it can get really, really challenging when dealing with a mentally ill family member, especially when they get missing and missing for days, and you have no idea where they are, if they're alive, if they're safe, what's going on. Here's my story. So for those of you guys who have been following My Brother is Schizophrenic, my brother had been missing now. Today is Monday, August 26th. It's 9 p.m. My brother has been missing since Friday. The last time somebody saw him was Friday morning-ish. He was at my sister's house, and next thing we know, he's gone. And my sister says his shoes were still there, which means he's walking the street barefooted. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but the more and more you kind of deal with this, the more desensitized you get to them being missing. My aunt and other relatives, of course, they were worried. And my attitude was, he'll turn up. He always turns up in 2 or 3 days, which is the truth. He always turns up in 2 or 3 days. We speculated that he might have been picked up by the police and taken to one of the mental institutions, but we did not know. So today at about 4 o'clock, 4:30, my aunt gets a phone call. She subsequently calls me and says, hey, he's at this hospital. He says he's in this room. So me and my cousin both go out to the said hospital. We get to the front desk. We give them his name. They're like, we have nobody by that name. So then they say, well, check the emergency room side. We go into the emergency room side. They're like, we have nobody by that name. And the last time he was here was in January. And so I was telling the security guard, I said, well, listen, he definitely called from this hospital because here's the main number. And when you call it back, it leads us to this hospital. And so we're hit with red tape. Well, we don't have nobody in the system. We don't know what to do. So I go around my aunt's house, get something to eat, just hoping he'll call back and we'll be able to get some more information, or I'll be able to force him to put somebody on the phone so I can find out exactly where he's at. When I get to my aunt's house, she's going through the garbage can with gloves on, looking through his book bag. His wallet with his state-issued ID was in his book bag. So I'm like, okay, he probably got picked up off the street as a John Doe, or whatever the case may be, and was either too incoherent to give these people his correct name or has intentionally given them a false name. So I have a friend that works out there, and I called my friend and I said, listen, do you think if I go back out there with my brother's ID, they'll go room by room on the mental floor to see if he's on there? And my friend was like, well, before you go up there, send me the ID and I'll see what I can work on my end. Long story short, my friend was able to link me to someone on that floor, and we were able to confirm that my brother was indeed there. So that's good. While all of this is going on and we're still unaware of where he's at, my friend's still working his magic, my aunt's phone rings again, and it's my brother. So I answered the phone. I was like, hey, where you at? And he was like, I'm at hospital XYZ. I said, listen, we just left from out there and they don't have no record of you. What name did you give them? I'm looking at my name right now on my chart and it says blank, blank, blank. I'm like, well, that's odd because they have no record of you. So I hear the nurse in the background saying his room number. I said, who is it? The nurse in the back? He said, yeah, the so-called nurse. I said, put her on the phone. I can't give her the phone. The phone will cut out if I hand it over to her. So see, these are some of the mind games that end up getting played on the family members when they're trying to help. So I'm like, huh? I'm like, well, can you have her call me? Well, can you just come get me? I said, well, yeah, I can come get you, but I need to speak to somebody to find out what's going on. Can you hand the nurse the phone? The phone will cut out. Well, then can you tell her to call me? Okay, Quentin. And he hangs up the phone. You see what I'm saying? And so it's weird because on one token, before I knew much about the disease, we would get an attitude like, here he go, playing on our intelligence, giving us the runaround. After I did a little research, I was realizing that the voices in their head tell them that everybody's out to get them, somebody's trying to hurt them, and that's, why they're so reluctant to go along with what's going on. So long story short though, I was able to talk to the medical professional on the floor, and they were like, yeah, we felt really bad. He came in on Friday very disoriented, talking to himself, laughing, crying, saying somebody's telling him to kill himself, somebody's trying to hurt him. He was very incoherent. I'm sure he was dehydrated because they said they picked him up off the streets during a Dolphins game, walking up and down 27th Avenue with no shoes on in the Miami heat. They say that he's been, disoriented for the last couple of days when they go in the room. Sometimes he's in his right state of mind, others they're not. She said that he had been asking, when is he going to be discharged? She said, well, we can begin to discharge you if you can tell us your name. And then she was like, he just kept giving her, saying Lima. So she was like, we got him listed as unknown Lima. Who and what Lima is, y'all, I do not know, can't begin to tell you. So she was like, every time she would ask him his name, that he would just get quiet or go back to talking to himself or whatever the case may be. So that was some of the confusion. And I'm sharing this just so y'all can get an inside view as to this can become very taxing when you're dealing with someone who's not in their right mind. So long story short, she was like, we feel good, because she said we didn't feel comfortable discharging him. I was like, good. Please don't discharge him until I speak to the psychiatrist and with the case manager. And as of now, tomorrow, they're going to call me with the case manager, and the case manager will give me a time where I can come in, talk with her and the psychiatrist, and hopefully, y'all, through this, we can begin to get the ball rolling and get my brother some help. In a perfect world, I'm hoping we could get him in some sort of 3 to 6 month, even if it's a mental hospital stay, to get him stabilized, get him on the right medications, and during that time, it'll give me time to, do the disability, the SSI, housing, and all that type of job placement, all that type of stuff, and come with some sort of transition plan for him. But one step at a time, we found him, and although it felt this weekend like I made no leeway, at least we got a break today, and it looks like we've got some footing. I'm now in the mix. There's now somebody for the medical professionals to call to try to link him to some care and see this thing through to the end. So thank you guys who have been on this journey with me. Thank you guys for the support. Please continue to pour whatever resources, ideas, and suggestions you have down in the comment box. I'm reading through the comments and realizing that I'm not the only one afflicted by this, and it is helping a lot of people. Let's be each other's village, and I'll keep y'all posted when I leave the hospital tomorrow with what's going on. Talk to you later. Bye.